Recorded at Equip HNA 2024 in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's your host, SiteOne trainer, Shawn Sandink.
Hi, this is Shawn from SiteOne Landscape Supply here with Audrey. How do I say it? Audrey Selipak?
Yes.
Selpak?
And actually, I just got married, so my last name's now Benz.
So Audrey Benz.
Yes.
From Davey Tree.
Yep.
Tell me about yourself, Audrey. What brought you to Davey Tree?
Oh my gosh. So I graduated with a degree in environmental biology, but I minored in marine science. I was one of those millennials who really wanted to become a marine biologist.
Right.
But I was in upstate New York, very landlocked, and decided that I was going to do something related to something else I was passionate about, which involved trees. I love tree ID. I love learning about the problems with trees. So I became a plant healthcare technician for a residential office up there in Rochester, New York.
Okay.
But yeah, I did that for 3 years, worked in the fields,
Right.
learned a lot about pesticide compliance because I'm from a state that's really highly regulated in terms of pesticide safety and you know what we can and can't use.
Okay.
But yeah, and that's what moved me into my current role at the Davey Institute, where I do pesticide compliance for all of Davey Tree.
So what is your role at Davey Tree? Like, what would your title be?
Oh, it's a pesticide compliance specialist.
Pesticide compliance specialist.
Yes.
So when I was sitting in grade 5 and the teacher says, "Hey, what do you want to do when you grow up?" Not one of my class said pesticide compliance specialist.
Oh yeah, and I didn't either.
So when did you even hear that pesticide compliance specialist was an option?
Oh, and well, it even wasn't an option until they made the position at Davey Tree. So
are you one of a kind? Like, is there any other pesticide compliance specialists out there?
there
Do
might
you guys have a group, a Facebook group?
we need one because I'm looking for them out there. I'm the only person in my company with this job title. So it's definitely a weird road to navigate, but that's kind of how it is at the Davey Institute. We kind of decide what the need is for our company, and then we make a position that kind of fills that role and suits those needs.
So I want to get right into what the Institute is and what a specialist in compliance of pesticides is. But before that, let's back way up.
Okay.
So you're in high school and you're really into marine biology. And so you feel, even though you're in a landlocked state, well, you said Rochester, so would you have been close to the Great Lakes there?
Yeah. So,
And is that what drew you into marine biology?
well, I watched a lot of National Geographic when I was growing up. Lots of, beautiful coral reefs and how they're all in trouble. And I felt like I wanted to help save them.
Right.
So, yeah, I just have kind of this, I don't know, ownership of the landscape and ecosystems and just felt like I wanted to do something about it.
So you've got a steward's heart. You're looking at the lake. You're wanting to save the environment, sounds like. And then you went, so give a shout out to your alma mater. Where did you go to school then for marine biology?
So I went to the SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry in Syracuse.
In Syracuse?
Yes.
And so they have marine biology in Syracuse, maybe an hour or two from your place.
Yep.
Gotcha. So what I'm missing is, how do I get from marine biology to pesticide compliance specialist? Where's that bridge?
Well, that's a really good question. I think, really the root of my passions lie within scientific communication. I love taking something that's really complex and translating it to the public in a way that they understand it and, feel good about it and something that they can do themselves. And so I think with compliance, there's a lot of law interpretation. There's a lot of taking all this crazy jargon that the state mentions and then translating it for employees to understand and feel empowered to get their licenses or, read the labels correctly. And I think that's kind of where my heart lies, is just that translation aspect. And even though it's not exactly marine science oriented, I still, go scuba diving in my spare time when I
Okay.
yeah.
So when you say translate from what to whom? Like, are you who's your end listener that's getting the translation? Is it your teammates? Is it your customers? Is it your applicators? Is it where does that come in?
It's all of the Davey Tree Expert Company. So we have about 11,000 employees, give or take. And
That is not small.
no, it is a huge nationwide company, which is great. Yeah, we've got a good footprint in almost every single state. So we kind of needed somebody who could navigate all of the different state regulations, because they're all different. So yeah, I kind of help provide that support for our employees at Davey Tree. But we also do some external stuff. So I'm actually here at Equip doing some talks on pesticide compliance.
Okay, so you're one of the speakers here.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. The Davey Institute is sponsoring a whole integrated pest management series of talks over in the certification center.
Yeah, and you mentioned Davey Institute a few times. So I know Davey Tree, and now it makes sense to me that I know of Davey Tree being 11,000 associates that you have there. So, but what's the institute like? What do they do? What's all about the institute?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's actually very little that the Institute doesn't seem to touch. We're kind of like the extension agency arm of Davey Tree. So if they're looking for any research and innovation related stuff, the Davey Institute is what does that. We also do a lot with environmental health and safety, making sure that everybody's following the most up to date protocols there. We do a lot with compliance, with water management. Basically anything new that comes up into the industry, we help Davey kind of adopt those new technical expertise. And then with that, we also have a lot of education and training opportunities. That's the Institute hosts a big Davey training every year where we have 50 people come in and learn for a whole month in the winter
Okay.
time. And
Who would those
yeah,
50 people? Where would they come from?
everywhere, all over, mostly our residential division.
Okay.
So a lot of people who are doing stuff for, you and me as homeowners.
All right.
Yeah,
Like these would be your technicians,
yeah,
and they would
exactly.
come in and they get a month-long training
Yep.
to be able to do their careers then better, and you at the institute provide that.
Exactly. Yeah, we're kind of training them up for almost a sales role or a higher level technician role.
So you hand select these folks.
But they,
So is there a
yeah,
competition, or is there so it's applying like applying for a program at your university?
exactly. There's a little application process, and our operations managers do a really good job submitting recommendations for certain people that stand out, and we identify those people. And we have it every year, so we try to get people who are eager and interested in doing this to have the opportunity to do it at some point in their career. But we do require that they work at Davey for, I think, 3 years before they can go and do that training. So yeah, lots of prep.
So what are goals for you? Where do you go from here? From my marine biology to pesticide compliance specialist, what's success look like? Like where would you like to go next that you can say, if I could just do that, or if we as a team even could accomplish this, then I feel that we've hit the next level.
Well, I report to our director of sustainability and the environment, and one of the things that our department does a lot with is sustainability and corporate responsibility. We're responsible for submitting that report. And when I think about sustainability, it's very holistic. We're talking about working with so many different teams and trying to get everybody on the same page so that our company can thrive and benefit the world leading into the future. And I love that. And really just want to, dive right into things like that. So compliance is definitely a major component of sustainability. I don't think that we can have environmental health and safety without, the other. So it yeah, I'm excited about that new part of my life, and I'm hoping to do more with that.
That sounds fantastic. I hope you hit that.
Yeah, me
And,
too.
I love that you have a steward's heart to be able to do that. Sounds like you're working with a great team. Now, let's change the page of the book here for a second. And if I'm reading the story of Audrey's life, especially here at Davey Tree as a pesticide compliance officer, give me the dark page. What page would you rather be ripped right out that I didn't even get to know about it because it was maybe a bad decision or it hurt somebody, it scares you, it's something that you think, "Oh, if I could just do a do-over of that one time, what would that be?"
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I guess for my role, we deal a lot with trying to dig out. Well, yeah, so my role is really focused on trying to establish a more proactive approach.
Right.
And with our company and even with our industry as a whole, I think even in general as humans, we're a lot more reactive, right?
Sure.
So, and we're trying to just be prepared so that in the off chance that something does happen, we know exactly what to do, and those accidents aren't even going to happen because we have all of these safeguards in place.
For sure.
But, there's some situations sometimes where that doesn't happen and things do get messed up. And even though you've made your best efforts to prevent things from happening, things still fall through the cracks. And, with me being the only person with my job title in, such a big company, it can be really hard to grasp that. And yeah, I think that's my own, personal struggle is that I can't reach everyone all at once, and I really want to.
That is way too noble of a bad page. Everybody would be happy to read that page. There's got to be something in there that you can wish for a do-over, that maybe it wasn't even that you couldn't reach all the people that you wanted to reach or do as great of a job that you could do, but was there ever a decision that you wish you would have went right instead of left? Or someone said, "Hey, Audrey, we should go ahead and do this." And you're like, "Nah, let's hold off." And it turned out you maybe should have.
Oh, I I don't really know about specifics of that. I'm so early in my career. I feel like I haven't had anything major, smack me in the face like that. But sometimes I do wish that I, took the marine biology path instead.
Okay.
But that would have required me to go to grad school, and I never went to grad school. So
Right.
that was kind of a big pivoting moment in my life. And when we talk about professional development, we do a lot of women and tree care stuff.
Sure.
One of the big things that I think about is not just the things that you say yes to all the time, but realizing that some of those things you say no to are also really important and can really sometimes be a good thing, even though in the moment it feels like a really bad decision. So I like to tell myself, okay, even though I didn't go to grad school, I said no to it. This is the path that it's taken me on. And if I had gone, I probably wouldn't be here having this conversation with you.
Well, we're very glad that you chose this method. What would you say to young women in the green industry that are just getting in now? What advice would you have for them?
Um, just find your mentors in even if they aren't, even if they aren't other women. So when I started off at Davey Tree,
Right.
I was the only woman technician in my shop.
Wow.
Um,
How did that feel?
it was scary. And I felt really empowered though, but there were definitely some moments where I was like, "Oh God, none of these people can relate to me."
Right.
Mm, But
But did they start keeping the bathroom cleaner and doing
oh
they
yeah,
yeah, like
yeah, I think they were a bit more mindful once I came in.
excellent.
But But yeah, I found my mentors there though really quickly. There was a guy at my shop who was my fellow PhD tech, and he was an awesome mentor and supporter for me. And
You want to give him a shout out? Is
oh
he
yeah,
still there?
oh yeah, his name is Matt Teague. So yeah, Matt, if you're listening, yeah, love you, man. You're amazing. But yeah, yeah, so he was an amazing mentor for me early in my career. Really helped me learn the ropes because you learn all the theory in school, but when you're out on the job, it's so different than being out in the fields.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just finding your allies is really crucial. And then keep yourself educated, get your credentials.
Is that part
Yeah.
of why you're here at Equip Expo is to, I know you're speaking, but are you also taking any courses or are you just meeting like we met a few moments ago, just to meet and see what's new and out there in the industry?
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing is just networking with people, seeing all the cool new toys you guys have available. That I definitely need to take a look at that Lesco spreader.
Absolute. I think everybody needs to be look at that new Lesco spreader.
But yeah, so just here to network and meet people and yeah, have conversations like this. Yeah, definitely helps build your brand, your personal brand, and that's what I really like.
Well, Audrey, I really want to thank you. Jumping from marine biology, finding that bridge to go to a pesticide compliance officer. You want to give your folks, your company, your teammates, one last shout out here before we wrap it up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I want to thank the Davey Institute so much for all of the opportunities you've given to me. It's just been such a great experience to keep learning and keep pushing myself to develop my career further. Yeah, thanks to I guess mom and dad for for all your support. And yeah, thank you to my teammates too. We started from scratch when it came to pesticide compliance, and I feel like we've really developed a strong and robust relationship. So
Well, it
yeah, so
definitely sounds like you're setting the bar. And I want to thank you, Audrey. Thanks for taking this time. And I look forward to watching where your career takes you in the future.
yeah, thank you.
Thank-
It was great to meet you, Shawn.
Thanks for tuning in to Confessions of the Craft. Ensure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the podcast so you can be the first to hear new episodes and discover previous ones. Follow SiteOne on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn for the latest trends and industry updates.